Assignment 27, cell growth and development. So your cells grow and develop, and how do you grow and develop with your cells? So here's our problem. What do cells have to do to help us grow and develop over time? And let's talk about limits to the size of the cell, as you did in the previous activity with the lab when the cells changed color. We know that smaller cells are better already. Nearly all cells can grow by increasing in size, but eventually most cells divide after growing to a certain point. There are two main reasons why a cell divides rather than continuing to grow. The larger the cell becomes, the more demands on the DNA. In addition, a larger cell is less efficient at moving nutrients and waste materials across the cell membrane. Question 1. What are the two main reasons a cell divides when it reaches a certain size? Well, here we have one reason. The larger the cell becomes, the more demands the cell places on its DNA. Second reason is it's less efficient at moving nutrients and waste materials across the cell membrane. This means moving things in and out of the cell. So what are the two main reasons a cell divides? Well, number one, we just highlighted both of the answers right there. Number two, what does the word efficient mean in the last sentence of the paragraph? Less efficient at moving nutrients and waste. So efficient means, works well or effectively. All right. Next section, information overload. So your DNA is the boss of your cell, right? And basically your DNA tells your cell what to do. And we're going to find out what's the problem if the cell gets too big. Living cells store critical information in DNA. As a cell grows, that information is used to build molecules needed for cell growth. But as cells increase in size, its DNA does not. So as the cell gets bigger, the DNA does not. If a cell were to grow too large, an information crisis would occur. To get a better sense of information overload, compare a cell to a growing town. Suppose a small town has a library with a few hundred books. As more people move in, more people will borrow books. The library will run out of books, or people may have to wait longer periods of time to borrow books. Similarly, a larger cell would make greater demands on its genetic library. After a while, the DNA would no longer be able to serve the needs of the growing cell. It might be time to build a new library in the city or a new cell in your body. So think of it like this too. If you were like at a concert and there was 50 people and one security guard in charge of those people, that might be okay. But as a concert crowd gets bigger, say you get 2,000 people and you have one security guard, that's a problem. That's what happens inside the cell. It's called the information overload. There's too many things for the cell to do and not enough people to do it. So, question 3, does the cell's DNA grow as the cell size increases? We just highlighted that here. As the cell increases in size, its DNA does not. So no, DNA does not grow in size. Explain why an information crisis is bad for a cell. Why is the information crisis bad? Well, crisis is bad. DNA couldn't give the cell what it needs to function. Right? That's what an information crisis is. There's too many parts, not enough people to do it. Last page here. Exchanging materials. This means things going in and out of the cell. There is another critical reason why cell size is limited. Nutrients such as food, oxygen, and water enter a cell through its membrane. Waste products such as carbon dioxide, the gas we exhale, leave in the same way. Interesting. The larger inside of the cell, the more nutrients are used, the more waste that is produced. A larger cell is similar to a human having a larger stomach. It takes more to fill it, and that organism produces more waste. If it got too large, it would be difficult to get sufficient amounts of oxygen and nutrients in and waste products out. This is another reason why cells do not continue to grow larger, even if the organism does. Question 5. What does a cell need to move inside of it to survive? Well, we saw nutrients such as food, oxygen, and water must get into the cell. So question 5, we need food, oxygen, and water. Question 6, what does the cell need to get rid of? Waste products, things we throw away, such as carbon dioxide, leave the cell in the same way. So we got to take food in and get stuff out. Question 7, what happens if a cell gets too large? Well, if a cell got too large, it'd be difficult to get sufficient, which means enough amounts of oxygen and nutrients and waste products in and out. So your 3 answers are highlighted in there. Your job is to type them in there.